Let's talk about social selling index, what it really is, what does it mean when it comes to your personal branding, and where can you find it. So let's get to it. First of all, if you want to find your social selling index, which I really encourage right now before we move on into talking about what it really means, you can either go to Google and write social selling index and try to, find the very first two links. And one of the links that you would open would look like the one you see right now on the screen, and you can click on get your score. If you are a Sales Navigator user, you can also find it on your Sales Navigator. But for all the other people, you can only find it through Google. It's not anywhere on LinkedIn, and that's how you can access your score. So when you get to this page, you need to click on Get Your Score and see what is your current social selling index. What is the number there? And we'll talk about it just right next in the next slide. So I'll give you a couple of minutes. You can also pause this video, and then once you find it, let's talk about what it really means. Okay, so let's talk about social selling index. I hope you all found it, and let's see what it really means. So first of all, let's take a look at the current social selling index. It is made out of 4 components. That's making your score, right? The total score is 100 out of 100, and the lowest is of course 0. But nobody has 0 because if you have an account, you already have more than that. So the very first component is called Establish Your Professional Brand. And this one is really measuring how strong your personal brand is. Meaning, if you have an optimized profile, are you creating content? Do people engage with your content and so forth, right? So it's like the overall image, not only your profile, but also your activity, your content, and all of that is being measured by the very first component. Establish your professional brand. The second one, the purple one, is called Find the Right People. This one is, can be more applied to people who work within sales, but this one is initially measuring the way that if you're doing search on LinkedIn, are you finding the people that you're looking for, and are you connecting with them, right? So this is what it is measuring. The third one is called Engage with Insights. So this one is basically measuring whether or not you're engaging with other people on the platform, their content, whether you're leaving a like, leaving a comment, reposting and whatnot, right? So for most of the times, this one is the lowest score. Try to see what it is for yourself. But this one is also the easiest to boost, right? Because if you start engaging right away, this score will increase and your index will be higher. The final point is called Build Relationships, and this one is really measuring if you are responding to messages that you get on LinkedIn, if you're accepting people requests, if you're sending a message when you're connecting with somebody. And in this case, if it's a lower score, try to see if you have like some unanswered requests, because if those requests are piling up in your inbox and you're neither accepting, neither rejecting them, then it actually decreases your score. And for those people who are a bit unsure about this, actually, if you reject somebody, if you don't accept their invitation, they're not getting any kind of notification. It's totally fine, and they won't be able to invite you at least for the next couple of weeks. So don't be afraid of it. Try to clean up your connection requests inbox, and this will definitely help. So there are 2 other analytics, 2 other numbers that you want to look at. First of all is people in your industry, and basically this number is measuring like the average index of people from your industry. So you can compare yourself with like what's the average and what is your score. So for example, in this case, the average is 36 and I have 82, which means that I'm in the top 1 industry SSI rank. And this basically means that if somebody is looking for people from my industry and is choosing my location, my profile will be in the very first search pages. So this is where social selling index comes handy and helps to understand like why it is important to have a higher number. Then the other number is people in your network, so you can really compare yourself with the average social selling index of people from your network, and again see like where you are when it comes to that. And in general, this is not really something that will change something for you, but it can help you understand where you're at, right? So it can help you understand like if you need to do some improvements with your profile, or are you good, should you post more, or are you good, should you maybe invite more people to your network, or if it's all good. So all of these things definitely like come in handy, and especially like social selling index. And again, this index is being updated every single week, so you can take a screenshot and then let's say you optimize your profile, start being more active, and then again check out like how the index has changed. Another thing when it comes to the index is that for people who work in sales and work with LinkedIn every day, let's say you work with B2B sales, and also I would say the same goes for marketing people, it's usually expected to have somewhere between like 55 to or 60 to 75, right? For like marketing people who don't use it every day, it's okay to have like 50, 55. If you use it like every day, if that's your main platform to do marketing for the company, for yourself, then I would say like 60 is a good number. For salespeople who are doing outreach, who are doing sales through LinkedIn, it's really important to have around 60 and 70 as the social selling index. For the rest of us, it's best to, compare yourself with the people in your industry and make sure that you have at least slightly higher, if not more like higher index than the average of the industry, because this means that your profile will be more exposed and more shown in the search when it comes to, people looking up other people from the industry. So this is what social selling index is. You know where to find it now, you know how to access it, and again, you can easily check it after a week, see how it's changing depending on different actions that you take on LinkedIn.